let's shift into focus here. Let's go into your AFC North champion, AFC runner up. Yeah, your Baltimore Ravens, who a year ago, a lot of question marks going into the season. Lamar Jackson gets paid. He shows up getting paid. He wins your most valuable player award. You bring in a guy in Zay Jones. He really elevates the offense. Mark Andrews goes down with an injury. Isaiah Likely goes up. He makes some plays. The Ravens defense goes from basically the bottom of the league to one of your top 5 units in football, and just a drastic year change, which is incredible to really think about. And now 2024 comes around. Let me pull us out here. There we go. Can the Ravens repeat success going into 2024 as they did last year? That is really the biggest question I have for this team. Looking at this team, I mean, let's elephant in the room here. Derrick Henry. The Ravens at one point were a run by committee team after, your Ray Rice leaves, Alex Collins leaves, all of these just running backs and stuff. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, they go into Los Angeles to join Harbaugh, the other Harbaugh to be exact. So now Derrick Henry is essentially your workhorse. You have Justice Hill who could fill in. Keaton Mitchell, whenever he recovers from that ACL injury, he can do that as well. There isn't much else. Deontay Hardy's, one name. Odell goes to South Beach. He takes his talents down there. Not like he did much for the Ravens last year anyway. I don't really have much on this team. I mean, the offensive line is still there. They slide in Andrew Voorhees, who would have been a first or second round pick in 2023, but despite him tearing his knee apart at the combine, fell all the way to the 7th round. He's now going to fill in. And he's going to be a stud at left guard where Kevin Zeitler was before he went to Detroit. So, yeah, I got nothing else to say on this team, but, not much has changed here for your Baltimore Ravens.
Well, I mean, Derrick Henry is a gigantic addition.
I mean, that was the first thing I mentioned, though. Yeah.
Other than that, yeah,
they always have good running backs, regardless of who it is.
But I mean, Derrick Henry, it's like teams are definitely going to overcompensate for the fact that they have Derrick Henry. It opens the field up for Lamar, both running and both passing. So, I mean, like, at least for the first part of the season, I feel like teams are going to heavily commit at Derrick Henry or just the run game or contain in general. And then, it could really open up the field for Lamar. And then Odell and whatnot, like, yeah, it's Nelson Aguilar, and he's a competent receiver. A number 3 receiver he's not bad at all. Granted, he's had issues, yeah, sure, holding the ball and whatnot.
He found how to catch the football, though, last
year. On the Patriots, I actually liked him. But, like, I don't know. I don't think it matters because they did it before, and Odell wasn't even doing much, and it worked for Lamar last year and everything. And I don't know. It's just a good team, straight up. And Derrick Henry, it's a little bit scary, and I think it's more the name than it is actually going to be the performance because everyone sees that, and they're, like, terrified now. So, I think teams may overcompensate for that. But
it's a very Lamar and a very Baltimore type offense here with the run game. I actually think they probably should have went out and got Saquon Barkley over Derrick Henry.
They definitely probably made an attempt for him.
Yeah, probably.
They should have gotten Saquon over Derrick Henry because what's always been kind of like the question about the Ravens, if the Ravens go down, you probably have them. Like if you're going to make Lamar sit back and have to throw the ball, you're not going to have Derrick Henry on the field in those situations. Derrick Henry's not a good receiving back. I know he's busted some of those like screens and he's gone. But the problem is like that's not going to happen if they're losing. They need to try to come back in a game. You're not going to keep Derrick Henry out in the field. That's going to be a Justice Hill there where that's Saquon Barkley. That is terrifying. The quick dump off to Saquon, and Saquon's going to get you 9-10 yards. You're not really going to get that with Derrick Henry. So that's why, again, you're comparing peanuts here with that decision. It's not like it's a huge difference, but I just thought you're going to go out and get a running back. Saquon Barkley is probably the better suited guy for the Ravens. Sure, it's still terrifying having Derrick Henry back there in a run-first offense like they want to do with Lamar Jackson, but I just think Saquon Barkley would have been, I think, even better as a free agent pickup over Derrick Henry.
It's just funny because it's Derrick Henry, and they also are one of the teams that actually use a fullback behind that monstrous offensive line with Filele. Like, it's just those are just three dudes who will run you over. So just kind of like that's the funny part about it. Like everyone forgets also Keaton Mitchell was really good for that stretch last season.
Yeah, he was a fast guy. Like I think he was one of the fastest people on this team last year.
Like he was phenomenal. But I don't really have anything to add for offensive wise. Like
I also forgot Morgan Moses. He got traded to the Jets. So Roger Rosengartner fills in for right tackle. So
it's the Ravens. They draft well.
Where did he go to school? He went to Washington. So
yeah, I mean this is just cool. Like Ravens offense is going to remain.
They lost a lot though. They did lose a lot. Like Huntley leaves, Dobbins leaves, Edward leaves, Morgan Moses gets traded. John Simpson also follows Morgan Moses. Zeitler.
I think it's water under the bridge, though. I think it's replaceable, and they got replaced, and it's fine.
They've lost a lot. Wait till you get to the defense.
Yeah, I like the Voorhees move. I know that's like a year in like advance. You're just going to place him on IR because he was recovering from the knee injury from the combine. So, and now again, Voorhees was a first round talent too coming into that draft. He was going to be a first or second round talent. He falls all the way to the 7th round. So that's pennies on the dollar for the Ravens.
Yeah, but I'm saying just this offense. I don't think that we're going to be like, oh, wow, this offense can't perform well. I think it's still going to perform well. I think it's still going to be a top offense. I think they're going to thrive. I think it just is what it is, you know? So, I don't know.
So let's shift into the defense here. Yeah, so they did lose Jadeveon Clowney. Patrick Queen goes to Pittsburgh. Ronald Darby also leaves. Rock Ya-Sin leaves. George Stone, Geno Stone, he goes to Cincinnati. So you do lose a couple pieces to divisional opponents. I know last year we got ridiculed because I said, this is the worst defense in football. We got our asses lit.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't let me speak the entire time. And I was like, what do you guys? I'm like, all right, well, if you just want to keep going, sure. Like, what's bad about it? What's bad about him now? Because
there's nothing. They get Nick Wiggins, who I think got hurt during the Eagles game. I think if he did, it's not that serious of an injury. But the cornerbacks get stronger for them, especially with Marlon Humphreys, who's healthy, Brandon Stevens, who's healthy, and then really the other thing is Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams. They also bring in Eddie Jackson, who is a starter on most teams, and he's a backup right now for the Ravens. There's really nothing that just like screams like, oh, hey, like there's like a weakness on this team. Like, again, just like the Steelers, just like the Browns, this is an AFC North defense where good luck going against them because you're going to get lit up if no matter what you're trying to do, run, pass, option play.
Yeah, they were the 6th ranked defense last year.
But I
think it might be McDonald leaving, though, might be a question mark. So
that one hurts.
Yeah.
But as far as like replacing talent, this is one of the best in the business at doing it.
Has John Harbaugh ever had a bad defense?
That Ravens defense 2 years ago? Yeah.
Was that bad, though? Yeah.
They were letting up like double-digit leads like every game. They just couldn't hold the lead.
That is true.
Well, it was a lot of that.
The former player for the Ravens, Zach Orr, he fills in now as a defensive coordinator. So, hey, another player gone coaching, just like Mayo, just like DeMeco Ryans, gonna get a name out there for himself, and let's see what he can do now as a defensive coordinator for the Ravens. I don't have much else to say. Just there's really. To me, it's not a whole lot of pieces. I know they always just get them in. They fill right in. They just flip-flop. Or as Jameis Winston says, knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. I don't know what's worse, that or the Colts song. I don't know. But I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on it, on this team?
No, nothing besides, like, I also like the depth of this team like I did with the Bengals. Like, I think that, and if we're going to talk about AFC North, you gotta withstand, injuries and
cold, and
it's the team really that has the best attrition that wins, not the overall standout team most of the times in this division.
It is true.
Let's head to the schedule here, and I couldn't really find a much better schedule, so I apologize, Jake. Those eyes are going to be strained.
No, see, this is like what I did last year. I would have cut this and zoomed in because, the Rams one was terrible last week. It was.
If you have a clear home and away color wise,
yeah,
and it's not like big text with little text right next to it.
And this has week 1, 2, 3 huge, which is nice. So I don't have to figure out if it's up, down, or left, right. So that's
I don't
nice.
know the time on these things because it's just
that's okay. I mean that sucks, but that's okay. That's not a big deal.
They have a late season bye, which I find interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eagles
hell, bro.
Bye. I mean, you would have to think the teams that are playing on Christmas, they gave them the option. Like, do you want a late bye because you're going to be getting 3 games in 11 days? Like, I think they would have to offer them that, just like the London teams or the Germany teams. Do you want to take your bye right after going and all that stuff?
Tell you what, starting at Kansas City blows. That's tough, man.
I mean, like if you're like the Lions last year, I mean, like the Lions went in there and they shocked the world. I mean, like, what the Ravens can do the same thing if the stars align.
Still not easy though.
I mean, yeah, you got to go to Jerry's World week 3, and they're going to be just clamoring because it's still early. They'll think it's a Super Bowl contender and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Dak for MVP. Dak for MVP. I don't know. I still think this is, a double digit. I think 10 is like a nice medium here. They could definitely go above. I don't know. I think they could go as low as 9, but it is a double digit win team by the end of the day.
I have
AFC North gap. I'm telling you.
I have them
at a wide range.
I have 10, 11.
Yeah.
I think that's the first one I've actually counted 10 though.
I have like 11, 12 maybe. I think they get 10. I think that's easy, and then they can squeak out another one from a real opponent and whatnot. Maybe 10, 11. A healthy Lamar all year is 10 or 11.
As long as he's not eating any bison tail pizza or whatever he was out of training camp for like a week after eating.
That's wild.
I don't know what food he ate, but that was that might have been a meme. Who knows?
Sure, it could have been.
Did you get